Victory to the mass. عوض نحفاش. Eritrea never kneel down.
It's been over 60 days and counting for this group of Eritreans camped outside Downing Street. They are protesting against the recent Commission of Inquiry on Human Rights in Eritrea report, which states several human rights abuses. The sanctions imposed on Eritrea has caused severe economic and political problems for the East African nation. Dr. Berikat, head of the Fenqil organisation leading the protests, explains their aims.
We are here urging David Cameron to put pressure on the United Nations Security Council and the United Nations in general on behalf of an organization called Fenqil, Peaceful Demonstration. This is a continuation of what we did in Geneva on the 22nd of June. Eritreans in the diaspora from all over Europe congregated in Geneva because on the following day, on the 23rd of June, the Commission of Inquiry on Eritrea was presenting its report to the United Nations General Assembly at Geneva. So we went to protest there that whatever the report was fabricated, it was made up, because in a normal sampling, in a normal scientific statistical sampling, you should follow certain rules. But the authors of the report didn't follow any of these scientific rules to reach into a conclusion. There's what we call sample size. How many people did you interview? And where are these people from? Because many of these people they were interviewed were living in Ethiopia or in Djibouti, which are two arch enemies of Eritrea. We have had war with them. So asylum seekers, first of all, by nature, of course, they have to tell all sorts of lies and fabrication to get the refugee status.
The report states several human rights concerns, including cases of extrajudicial killing, enforced arbitrary arrests, detention, torture, indefinite national service, slave labour, among others. The group claims that the findings in the report are flawed, as it bears no resemblance to the Eritrea they know. Special Rapporteur for the UN, Sheila Kataru, did not set foot in Eritrea to compile the report, nor did she speak to any Eritrean community or support groups.
The Commission also didn't visit Eritrea at all. It didn't visit Eritrea, and it was writing a report on Eritrea. And not only that, they were accusing Eritrea of abusing human rights issues in Eritrea. So one of the mining companies, which was accused with the government of Eritrea for employing enforced slave labor, also wanted to present its report to this commission, but it was denied. And many of us, even Eritreans in the diaspora in Britain, in other parts of North America, we also wanted to make a submission to this lady, and she completely ignored us. She didn't want to listen to us. So right from the onset, it was a flawed report.
The Eritrean community in the UK has petitioned the British government demanding implementation in full of the Algiers Agreement, including the ruling of the Eritrea-Ethiopia Boundary Commission, annulment of the UNSC's unjust sanctions on Eritrea, and a total rejection of the fabricated COIE report.
The picture that was painted of Eritrea was bleak, was a country that we don't recognize, was a country that frankly nobody recognizes. There are hundreds of diplomats, including ambassadors, European, and this commission didn't even bother to consult with any of them. Apart from, it even failed to consult the head of the UN Commission in Eritrea. It's completely detached from from the reality that we observe every day. I myself, for example, was in Eritrea only 4 months ago or thereabouts and stayed there for 2 months. So it's nothing like what is being presented. You have to question why. And we did ask Sheila to come and see many Eritrean communities across Europe and even in America. Petitioned Sheila to actually come and speak to us. Instead, she was very selective about who she met. People who are very well known to be outside of our communities, even in the diaspora. People who don't really represent in any way the Eritrean community. We're not saying she shouldn't consult them, but to consult them as representing the majority view is completely detached from reality.
So as the complicated dispute continues, a quick resolution seems distant, but for these Eritreans in the UK are determined to have this report annulled and to see a more true and factual report of their nation.